and that CNS will not be saying we're going to shut your doors down. Or well, actually, they're not going to say we're going to shut your doors down. They're just going to say we're not going to give you any more money.
And as far as the MSPI Gen 1 and the Family Spirit, you said the drawdowns weren't done through, but the 425s were finished. I know a lot of these programs, as directors side, all of their reports were done, but it stopped at finance, and I'm pretty sure that's the same way with a lot of your social programs. Is they're not being informed of your cuff account, that you don't have access to that, or you don't have access to your drawdowns, but your 425s are done, correct?
No, I don't believe our 425s are done, because I would be able to get that information and transfer it on for 424A in the grant solutions. And then the finance would be able to tap into the drawdown. So we did one of the programs that I did submit for was last September, and there was zeros all on there. Okay, you're not spending my money. Okay, we'll just forget about it. So it's like that. And our TA has been very understanding, and they have a lot of influence over whether we keep the grant or we don't, or they continue it or whatnot. So they've all been patient with us because of the audit that they're doing. But now that the audit's done, they want things now. And I know my role and I know what everybody else needs to do, but I understand and know that I only have authority to do what I know that I can do. And so I don't know what else to say about it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shannon. I believe we got one more from outside. Songbird just wants to do a brief report real quick, and then we'll move on with, I don't think Head Start's here, so I believe after that, we have another one scheduled. Yeah, I think one of those are working. So we got quorum too, so that's, once she's done with this Songbird, we'll get into our quorum, our call session to order. If you can just state your name, title, and who you represent.
Good morning, I'm Lydia, Hogan, Director of Daycare. I was just hired about a month and a half ago, because we were behind on 2 reports, and the program was in high risk. So we have a 700 report, and we have a 6960 report that needed to be completed by December 29th. It wasn't completed, and because I had worked with HIP and I had worked with ABT, and I got them into compliance, and I got the budgets done and all that, they called me in and had me, that's why they made me director of Songbird. And then, so we got our 700 report done. It's waiting to go into, like she said, there's a Grant Solutions website that we go into. We have an OLDC, we get our number, we implement it, and it's all of our counts of our kids and all parents, who we approve, who we disapprove, and all that. So that all goes into the 700 report. I can do that. The director can do that. So I did that. The 6960 report is all the financial stuff, all the expenditures, all the finances for the program. We're still waiting on that. Finance hasn't completed it. We did our part. I did investigating. I got all the expenditures, wages for the employees for the past year. I got all the expenditures, wages for the vendors. I got all that for all the utilities and everything. I had everything to the exact amount. I got it all calculated. I turned it in, and I'm waiting on Ken Shaw to finish that. He's the officer for the tribe that can make that report. I can't make that report. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a, what do you call him? What's his title? Comptroller. I'm not a comptroller. and they pay them to do that. I was gonna take this report because it's 6 months behind. I was gonna take it to Denver myself and have them go through it with me so I could get it done, and they stopped me from doing that. They said, you could get us in trouble, so that was the end of that. But we run on a like $750,000 budget. We have carryover 130 some odd $1,000 from the year before. We had, when I came into this job, I got a call about 2 weeks into my job, and it was from regional from Denver, the funding agency that we're being funded through. And Donald Trump gave only the Crow tribal run, not Crow tribe, but all the tribally run daycares in the United States. He upped their budget. He tripled their budget. So not only that $750,000 that we have, but he upped it $2,080,040. That's going to be coming to our budget, and I don't want anybody getting their little greedy hands on it. I would like help to get our account pulled aside, because with this money we're supposed to be able to do major renovation, major construction, up our wages. According to the statistics on the United States, of all the tribally run daycares, we're one of the lowest paid people. And so they wanted us to up our wages. That's a part of the incentive of this $2 million. I wanted to build a garage because we no longer have GSAs. I want some dependable transportation for our kids. I want 2 vans. I want a truck. I want lawn equipment to take care of our place. So I have to have numbers in place in 1 month. They gave us this money in June. I'm supposed to have it expended by August 1st. A plan in place with the dollar amounts, the construction people, the renovation, all the, so I've already met with the architect out of Billings. It was recommended by Housing's 4G, worked with him before. I have this architect. I'm going to need more structural engineers and all this stuff. But what I was planning on was to do like a pole barn style building for our garage and have a pool basement put into it because of shelter, tornado shelter. We don't have nothing for our kids. And I don't want to say shelter because then it would imply a bunch of whole new rules that I don't want to go through. So I'll just put a basement on this garage. Anyways, so I have this. I got to get my land in place. I got to get my architects, my engineers in place. I got to get all this done within a month. And so I don't have time for people to be stealing our money. So I told them, could you guys please get us an account where I don't have to worry about my contractors, about my architect, about the labor, everybody getting paid on a timely basis. And so this is like what was new that came to Songbird Daycare. I've had some problems with employees. I don't allow my employees to miss a lot of work. I don't allow them to do. So yesterday I got an email from Debbie, which was pretty interesting to me, telling me that I had to let go of 6 of my employees because they had no PAFs. That kind of stuff I don't have time for, and I need help. The reason I hired these employees is they're more qualified for the position. And I don't want to say shelter, tornado shelter. We don't have nothing for our kids. We don't have nothing for our kids. So I don't have time for that. The reason I hired these employees is they're more qualified for the position. I got hired lead providers where our children are gonna be taught. They're not just gonna play around all day. So we have a curriculum, we have a schedule, we have them going by that schedule. The department over here at Little Bighorn College, we have an agreement with them, that was shut down. So there was a lot of improvements that I had to make within this month, almost 2 months that I've been there, and we haven't been paid. So, just like Shannon, I went through our budget, I got everything in place, I took it to them, I tried to have them pay us out. I said, according to this paper, we have like $400 and some odd $1,000 that we need to liquidate by the end of the fiscal year, which is September 31st. We don't have that much time. So I said, because according to this, the regional would like us to up our wages. Our providers, they're being paid $10 an hour. McDonald's, you make more over there. I said we could easily, with the money that we have, we could easily up the wages now. But like I said, I don't know where that 1.5 million went that's in this PNS system, but all the health, human services budgets were affected by that. We can't do anything. So I'd like your help. If you guys can help me, I want to get our own account, and when these 2 point whatever million comes in, I don't have to worry about it. And since I'm the director, it's going to look like I'm the one, going to be held accountable for it. And so I'd like to have that in place. They're supposed to be sending it fairly soon, and I think they said like a couple weeks. And I don't want that to be some type of a revenue for finance to pull out our money and pay everybody, and then we don't have anything. So that, and then I had some. I don't know. There's got to be a solution to it too. I had an employee who didn't come to work for 2 weeks, didn't call, and then all of a sudden goes and complains to AJ, and then they're, after me, and I was like, I don't understand. You're put in a position of authority to help your people. You're not put in a position to bring them down. I mean, if the program is running right, you got everything's going good, you got your employees, you're in compliance, why try to remove 6 of my staff? We want your staff auditor so we can bring in our own people. I mean, I'm like, man. So then that takes away all this time that I got to spend trying to get this renovation, trying to get construction work done. If there's some way they could get them to just lay off. If a program is doing good, why bother? Why? I don't understand. But it's probably politics. I don't know. But I had a janitor. He did no call, no show for 2 weeks. I think that's pretty much a good way to terminate a person. I had another employee that made abusive remarks at a child. I immediately let her go. I told her, if you wanna complain, I'll go ahead and pursue charges. But if I were you, I'd pack your bags, get your baby, and leave. And she said, you mean you're kicking my son out? And I said, if you're not employed, you don't need a babysitter. So I'm kind of strict on my employees, but I don't think it's strict. If they have a job, I want them there. If they have a duty, I want them to do that duty. I'm trying, anyways, we've been getting a lot of compliments. Your you're a good director. Our kids are happy. The employees are there. I got a good staff. They come in 7:30 in the morning. They don't come in 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So those were the reasons why I was hired on as director, and those are the things that we're going through right now. And we have a staff of about 20 people. We have our numbers, our kids, maybe we have 30 kids, but I'm trying to increase them, advertise and increase, and it's a block grant, so it's federally funded, but there's a lot of room in there for freedom. That we don't have constrictions like BIA. We can, it's up to the discretion of the director, how they want to. I got rid of another employee. She was compliance officer. So when I came on, I just look at the positions. What do you do? How do you benefit the program? And I said, so compliance officer, what do you do? I do all the reporting and I do all the budgeting. And I said, we don't need that position. That's what the director does. We do all the budgeting. I don't think that not $1 should pass without the director's knowledge. Compliance, we do all the reporting. I think we should know what's going on every aspect of the program. And so those things, they were complaining about me, but I did what I did to better the program and for our children to be learning and have a safe haven to go to. Those were my objectives, those are my projections, that's what I had going now, and so we're doing really good. And but my biggest thing was to try to get this $2 million that's coming, get it in a safe place. And that's my report.
Thank you. We got any questions?
First of all, I'd like to compliment you on a good job.
Thank you.
And due to your the things that you need to get done right away, a person that can help you from the ground up is Tom Woods. He's really good. I mean, he knows all the aspects of the construction. He knows a lot of contacts too. And if you could have him help you. Second thing is, in the audit we looked at, one of the recommendations was to separate, that centralized accounting. If you had your own accounting under your leadership, so it'd be under her, you could take care of all your number one barrier, which is for financial reporting. I think that it needs to be taken care of right away. That way, I think it'll alleviate a lot of your problems.
We're waiting from a letter from her funding agency that I could take to finance and get them set up their own account. Because that's how IHS, our 638 programs are running and getting paid right now.
Oh,
This is Crow Tribe of Montana. It has the discretionary mandatory. These are all the numbers that are going to be sent that they gave me already, but there was not an official award yet. But this is what it's going to be, and this is for all the tribally run daycares. So this, contrary to popular opinion, Trump is a good guy in this thing.
Any more questions? You have a question back here, Senator White?
Want to congratulate you on your position, that you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
But, what you were talking about wages, they call that prevailing wages. In other words, you need to get a hold of all the daycare or centers around the country, Indian country, and that will determine, or the pay scale that your employees will be, okay?
I already got one from Region,
Yeah.
I asked for that.
And then another one, your funding agency, I run federal programs that I always ask for an oversight, or if I run my own accounting or payroll and everything, they could request that right now because of the high-risk status of the clonation. See, you could use that's your ace in a hole. Tell us that there's all this money being spent elsewhere. But you request, write a strong letter to the executive, and they will do that. They will help you with that. So, and because I have done that before, and it works. In other words, they will eventually add money to have your own payroll, your own procurement, and everything. Because they will open up their pockets. Because you're doing not only a good job, but you're in compliance with also. And I think for the senators here, we should, stand by her because it's our children. Good administrator. There's a lot of things that goes against the grain of our culture or tradition, but it's beyond that now, because our children, our people are at stake now. They need to be taught. They need to be nurtured by good people. And the people that work for you need to be accountable of their time.
Yeah.
If they don't come in, that's fraud, according to the law, to the funding agency. So you need to stress that very strongly. I hope.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's another thing I did was to hire a health and safety officer. And one day when we looked into our books, they had been updated from 2008. And I don't know how you can run a public facility like that and not have it. But anyway, so we have our sprinkler systems, we have our fire extinguishers, we have our plans, we have our everything. We got everything in place. Our food, we were behind. I don't know, like maybe 2-3 months. I got that. I pushed it to where we got our food paid. We need another one paid again. We have our health and safety. We were just like open to a lawsuit. Just sitting ducks. I said, I don't know. You guys are lucky nothing happened, and within that time. But got my safety codes in place. Got my employees in place. Got within a month and a half. And then I don't know. I think maybe we're doing too good. So they think they have to throw a wrench in there and question my authority of who I hire and all this and that, but I don't know. But I don't have time for that. There's too much stuff that needs to be done. Where that 2 million, if we don't do something and we don't prioritize that 2 million and put money amounts, dollar amounts, we'll lose that 2 million. So that's my reasoning. I got everything, got all the positions filled, and I wanted to move on. I can't be dragging me back over an employee who don't want to come to work or don't like it that I got rid of the position, but everything I did according to the needs of the children and to benefit the program. And I'm not a good politician. I'm too honest. They don't like that. But that's me. That's the way I love things. And what was it? Question?
I think Tom people's got more than Tom.
Yeah, your employees, the one that they want to get rid of, they're protected by a law that this body passed a few years back. They call it Workforce Protection Act. That law needs to be enforced. It's to protect any tribal employee. Not only that, but IHS, BIA, surrounding communities like in Hardin or Sheridan, Rochester, that law protects that. Because they could turn around and sue the tribe. Past administration, they paid out a lot of money concerning that WPA. That's why the executive don't want anybody to know about that. But that's your protection, that's the law. They're not enforcing that. The employee that they let go have every right to go back and be compensated, be reinstated on their job. So I would suggest you write a letter concerning that. We're going to follow the WPA, and you need to enforce that.
Follow protocol. We follow protocol. But like that girl, she's lucky we didn't press charges on her. You know, we could easily press charges. You become violent with one of your co-workers and you want to act you know, and throw things around. They're every child in that room, and that's a state law. You can be held accountable for them, and you'll go to jail for a long time. And I don't know if they know them things, but that's the we're supposed to do a quality of care. Along with this $2 million, we do a quality of care. We bring in training, we bring in people to show them that this is how, you know, this is how you treat a child. This is how long you keep a child out in this type of an environment. This is, you know, if it's hot, if it's cold, if it's, there's so many different parts of that safety that need to be addressed, because we need training. I need the employees to know those statutes, they need the law. They need to know the law. And so according to this, a part of that is quality of care, trainings and educating our providers.
I got a question. Do you have a copy of that WPA? You need to get hold of that from here and read it. And then your employees read it. A good administrator will tell them their rights, so they'll be protected by that. Like I said, that's law.
So who do I get it from?
We'll have it ready.
Just, stop by.
And
Secretary's on the ground.
make a copy and
Can I get a copy?
okay, that very, you know, what you're stating, that's job harassment, could be sexual harassment. Because that law protects everything. That's workforce protection. And there's only 2 tribes in the whole nation that has that. The Spokane and the Crow tribe.
And I have another employee who was at work on Friday, never showed up on Monday. And then I got an email from HR saying she's in here. We're going to keep her for a couple of weeks and then we're going to send her back. And I don't know how can they do that. You know, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to terminate her. She don't want to work there, she don't need to be there. And that's chain of command, breaking chain of command. Not even letting me know where she's at, and then how can you work here and there? You know, it's crazy.
Tom.
I think I forgot my question. No, you know, these employees, that's working with our children, that's something that should be very important to everybody, because I mean, they're our future. But I think the whole tribe, everywhere we see where people are let go instead of prosecuting. And in some cases, maybe we should start they can do examples, or, you know, I mean, if they break the law, then, you know, they have to pay for it. But one of the things that I was thinking about with your money is, I know it's short time and everything, but your vendors, people that are going to be building these things for you, the people that are going to be building your garage and your vehicles, all this stuff, if you have all this in order first, where that money's coming from, instead of having it come to the tribe, you can have it diverted and paid for that stuff right up front, so that money doesn't even come here. There's ways of doing that. And you can look into that, and I know you're short on time, but then you won't have to worry about it getting mismanaged or misspent. If it goes right straight to the people that are going to be doing the work. So that's just what I wanted to say.
I got another comment concerning that, what Senator's referring to. They call that material in place. They paid every material, every item and everything will be itemized, and that money is earmarked for that, and that only. So kind of look into that. As, you know, the construction work, there's material in place afterwards. So.
Yeah, and then I asked them to write letters to help us to get paid. We've been like, 5 paychecks is a lot. It's a lot to be behind, and with this $2 million that's coming in, another thing they wanted to do, they asked us if we could take the entire staff to a regional conference that they had. So that means my entire staff consists of 20 people. These 20 people, to try to get them to Denver for a 4-night stay too, you know, it's a lot of money.
There's your $2 million now.
There goes my $2 million. But I budgeted, and I'm thinking like about 30,000, because I'd like to give them bonuses for sticking with the program, even though they're not being paid. And then when we're not paid, we have our repo fees, we have our fees from the bank, we have our fees from the being late, so it's like we're paying back with the money that we do get paid. So like, I would like to put a bonus in there for each of my employees to go on that trip. So I don't know, $2 million, I figure you kind of can spend a little bit going on a trip. So that's what I was hoping for. I didn't want anyone to question my why I was going to spend $30,000 on a trip. But is that it?
Yep, the only Sunday almost.
Lydia, Sheila, the program now, you ordered it, but she got shot off. Let's say, my few items, the club, at least we glass up. The Jones, I'm scared to put a boat back, so we need these shapes again, so. They got the red woman in there. I'm going to cook the nozzle, but as a lip, you can sit there and talk about this all day, but then it's Sheila, don't even look back and just go forward and do whatever you have to do. And I hope that people across the street don't get away with doing that. You go to your program, really,
Yeah, thank you. Then I don't know, but I think they need training themselves, because when you come in as an administrator, you help your employees. You say, what do you need? Can I help you? How do I help you? That's a part of an administration. They don't just go in there and try to cut, you know. So I don't know. I'm gonna have some problems with this person, but hopefully they leave that money alone and they let it, you know, because we need reliable transportation. We no longer have GSAs. We need a garage because of the vandalism. I mean, they blew up a car over here on Crow Fair. You know, we need those, we need it enclosed. And I can show all of our need, but what I'd like to do is to build a new one in Lodgegrass, because Lodgegrass don't have any, they hardly have anything in Lodgegrass, but they have people that are employed. So if I can show a need, I can get that done. Like I said, with somebody that's knowledgeable, you know, how can I get something built that wouldn't be $500,000? Like this one was, the center that we're in now, it's $500,000. That isn't including all the fees that all the people that got paid along with that building. So I would be helped, some reasonable price. I don't know, I was thinking of a pole barn. I'm gonna try a pole barn. I think they're inexpensive, they can go fast. And then it'd be out of the way. I wouldn't have to worry about anybody spending that money if we spent. But that's it.
That request you're asking, that plus land, is the one I was telling you about comments, and you can bring it back and, allocate for that, setting that out on the side too. This is number.
Okay,
Alrighty, I believe that's,
thank you.
conclude your report on the